Hi, I'm John and welcome to Outdoors with John. We're here in Blackstone, Massachusetts riding the Southern New England Trunkline Trail. And below me is the Blackstone River. The Norfolk Central Railroad opened this line from Dedham to Blackstone in 1849. Commuter passenger service to Blackstone lasted until 1966, when it was cut back to Franklin. In 1968, a flood destroyed the bridge at Blackstone, and the section we are riding on today was formally abandoned the following year. We were riding the Southern New England Trunkline Trail here in Massachusetts, which goes from Grove Street in Franklin to the Connecticut border in Douglas. That's about 22 miles one way. It's been roughly 10 years since the last time I was out here riding this trail, and a lot's changed, so I wanted to come back out here and check it out. And that tunnel there and the telltale was one of those changes that they made recently in 2020. Some sections of the trail have been paved, and the gentleman I just passed was blowing all the leaves off the trail. Behind me is milepost 4, and there's a stretch mostly between milepost 3 and 4 that the rail trail goes through a cut, and that cut is really swampy, so if you want to follow the trail, you're going to have to follow it on some side paths to get you over it. We are now passing Harris Pond in, I believe it's in Blackstone. On the opposite side of the pond was another railroad, which is also long gone. We would have crossed over it just ahead. This location was called Woonsocket Junction. Here the Charles River Branch Railroad, shown in orange, passed under the Norfolk Central Railroad, shown in pink. The Charles River Branch Railroad was opened in 1863 and abandoned by the New Haven Railroad in the 1930s. Here we pass between the abandoned bridge abutments of the Southern New England Railway. There's a long story here, but I'll keep it brief. Construction of the Southern New England Railway was nearly complete, but it never operated. It was intended to go from Palmer, Massachusetts to Providence, Rhode Island. The railway was a pawn in a war between J.P. Morgan and Charles Melville Hayes. Hayes died on the Titanic in April 14, 1912, and some say this railroad went down with the Titanic. Although the Southern New England Trunkline Trail does not directly follow the former grade of the Southern New England Railway, the homage to its existence cannot be denied. As I mentioned earlier, the Blackstone River Bridge was washed out in 1968, so we must ride in the street to reach the Blackstone station site and rejoin the rail trail. This short section between the canal and the Blackstone River is not open. Someday we may be able to ride our bikes over this impressive 7-span viaduct. In this 1915 valuation map, the solid pink line represents the combined rail trails, and the dashed pink line represents the not open section with the viaduct and the missing bridge over the Blackstone River. The orange line represents the Providence and Worcester Railroad, which is an active railroad. The location of the station is indicated by a red box, and the inset image is that of a Bud Rail passenger car at the station in the 1950s. The Blackstone River Greenway and the Southern New England Trunkline Trail join and become one between Blackstone and the next town of Millville. At this point, I decided to turn around and head home. I made a brief stop at Blackstone Junction to explore Harrison Pond. Thanks for joining me today, and please remember to like and subscribe. It's free and it helps the channel grow.